Thinking about XBlaze and why I don't talk much about it, I started to think more about why is XBlaze the one thing that Arxis has made, besides, obviously BlazBlue related, that gets localized, right? Isn't it weird that XBlaze gets localized, yet things like Phase Shift or Bloodedge Experience or Spiral Shift, like, you feel like these could be games, Like, when you think about how XBlaze plays into the main BlazBlue series, it really doesn't. It's more of just like, alternate universe shenanigans, The only thing that really carries over from XBlaze is S. And I find it odd, really. I really find it odd that things like Bloodedge Experience aren't local. Like, I felt if Bloodedge Experience was made into like a visual novel style game, or if Phase Shift was made into a visual novel style game, or the same with, if Variable Heart was made in the style of like the BlazBlue games, like it was just like straight up visual novel instead of a manga, I feel like things would have been a lot different. Because first of all, I don't like having these avenues of these things trapped in their formats. For example, Bloodedge Experience and the Phase Shift light novels are being stuck as light novels, and light novels that haven't left Japan. And the thing about XBlaze is, like, I feel like XBlaze is the one thing that gets localized besides BlazBlue, right? And it means the least in regards of BlazBlue itself. You guys may say, oh, well, not knowing Bloodedge Experience may be irrelevant, or Phase Shift may be irrelevant to the main plot, all you need those Ragnars, but I just find it more important than XBlaze. Like, you may not need to know Bloodedge Experience. You may not need to know Phase Shift, but wouldn't it make sense to have these localized as like maybe sort of own visual novel style games? And since they do involve the main BlazBlue plot to an extent, at least with Phase Shift, Bloodedge Experience is a way to introduce Naruto, and it hints at things for the future. So Bloodedge Experience will play a part into what's to come for BlazBlue. At least I think so. I don't think Naruto would have came from Bloodedge Experience and into the main BlazBlue world if his story wasn't going to continue. I mean, even Mori said so, to keep an eye on Naruto and S, because they're going to play big roles maybe in the future. So I'm wondering, if this was the case, like, I know, obviously Arxis doesn't really think much about the American side of their things, right? It don't matter to them, it's just like, if it gets localized, it gets localized. If it doesn't, it doesn't, whatever. But I feel as though Mori should have made Bloodedge Experience and Phase Shift into games, like into these little visual novel style games where you make choices and whatnot, just like XBlaze, And on top of that, they had two opportunities to do this. They had it when they made Code Embryo, and they had it when they made Lost Memories. And look, personally speaking, I don't find XBlaze all that interesting. Now, it has cool parts in it, but as a whole, XBlaze is, for me, a bit uninteresting. Now, I am interested in Bloodedge Experience, even though it's somewhat mundane, but it has elements of being a BlazBlue game, Like it has elements of being BlazBlue. It feels like BlazBlue. XBlaze doesn't feel like BlazBlue. It feels like a completely different series that is associated with BlazBlue. It doesn't feel like the series. Bloodedge Experience and Phase Shift feel like they should have been something, I'm just saying, they just feel like they should have been their own little visual novel style games, complete with the voice acting, the Japanese voice acting, like they did with it. Like, it would have been simple, I feel like these would have been great games. Spiral Shift maybe wouldn't have been a game, but I mean, it could have been a sequel or something like that. I mean, I feel like Variable Heart and Remix Heart would have worked well as their own little visual novel style games. Hell, they made a condensed version of Remix Heart in BlazBlue Chronophantasma, so I don't see why they couldn't have done that for, their own little mini game of sorts. Like, just, they could have added in Central Fiction, or they could have made a collection of, hey, we got this collection of games, these novels being adapted into game form. Oh, we have a collection of Bloodedge Experience, Phase Shift, Spiral Shift, etc., etc. these things should have been games. I swear to God, I feel like they should have been games. Like, at least Bloodedge Experience and Phase Shift. Variable Heart / Remix Heart can stay a manga. At least it's somewhat accessible to people, and it's being translated, even though it's not being officially translated. I know Artsys wasn't really going to have any kind of hand in translating light novels and whatnot, and even now in 2020, it's mostly irrelevant to try to translate them for English-speaking audiences because it doesn't matter at the end of the day. As long as the Japanese people know what's going on, I think that's all that matters to them. So, honestly, I feel like if they made Bloodedge Experience and Phase Shift games, I feel like it would be able to, like, access, people be able to access it more easily, just a little visual novel style games. Because XBlaze is somewhat irrelevant to BlazBlue as a whole, at least for now, until Mori starts putting more crap about XBlaze into the BlazBlue series. But until then, XBlaze is largely irrelevant, and it's kind of lame that it's the only expanded media of BlazBlue really that's been localized. Manga hasn't been officially translated. The light novels hasn't been officially translated. The only really thing you got BlazBlue expanded media that really went anywhere was BlazBlue, the games obviously, and the anime, and it kind of bums me out. Honestly, it really does bum me out. But these would have been great games. I just swear to God, I feel like they would have been great, at least decent visual novels. I swear that Bloodedge Experience will be a great visual novel. I mean, hell, you already have Naruto, the light novel protagonist. You just put him in the visual novel format and call it a day. Shit, Phase Shift would have worked well in, game form. I would have liked to see that. To see Ragnar's journey, from being, obviously, quote-unquote, Bloodedge, his journey, from, the whole Dark War incident and everything that happened in between. I would have liked to see that in a game format. That would have been kind of cool. But it sucks. I don't hate XBlaze, but honestly, I feel like it's a waste, especially that it's been done twice. Like, I Lost Memories, I don't hate. Honestly, I kind of like it. I think I like it better than Code Embryo, but I can't really say much. I haven't played those games in like forever. I don't even own them no more. But yeah, that's all I wanted to really say about this whole topic. This may sound dumb, but I really want to see these two light novels become games. But I'll see y'all next time. Peace out, everybody.